Hello class, for my final project I wanted to explore the meteorite landings dataset, which I accessed from NASA's Open Data Portal, containing all the information on known meteorite landings. We will explore the mass of the meteorites, whether they were witnessed during their fall or whether they were discovered many years later, the year that these meteorites came down, and then their geolocation, which is a combination of their latitude and longitude. I specifically want to explore the relationship between a meteorite's landing and its geolocation to see whether there's a correlation, and I want to see whether there's a correlation between the number of meteorite landings in a given year and the average mass of the meteorite landings for that year. So basically, is there a years with a lot of meteorite landings? Are they generally heavier or lighter? And I chose this topic because I love all things space related, and I eventually would love to work for NASA. That's just my dream. So I want to go ahead and get started. I first wanted to do a quick thematic plot for reference of just the world, just to get a good look at it. And then I went ahead and explored the differences between meteorites that were seen while they were falling and meteorites that were found after landing, years after landing. So we see a lot of found activity in North America, and then a lot of meteorites that fell in areas like India. And so I did find that there was little to no correlation between the mass of a meteorite and its geolocation, i.e. its latitude or longitude. And then I went ahead and explored the mass variable a little bit further by grouping by year and then counting the number of meteorites for that year and then taking the average mass of the meteorites. And I did find that there was no correlation between the number of meteorites in a year and their average mass. And then I went ahead and took it a step further by exploring the top 10 years with the highest number of meteorite landings, and I wanted to compare the mass for those years and the number of landings. And so these are the top 10 years with the highest number of meteorite landings. We can see that 1979 has the absolute highest number of landings of all the years. This is just throughout, but surprisingly, it does have low average mass for that year. And then you take a year like 2006, which had higher average mass for that year, but lower number of meteorite landings compared to 1979. In addition to that, I also wanted to explore the top 10 years with the highest average mass, and I used that mass and compared it to the number of landings. And so when we go ahead and take a look, we see that 1575 had the absolute highest mass of all the years, but it did have relatively low number of meteorite landings compared to following years. And so I did find that kind of interesting that years like this had low number of landings, but the highest mass. And then here we had the highest number of landings, but lowest mass compared to these other years. And so I did enjoy exploring all this. I did find it interesting that these years occurred before the 20th or around the late 20th century, early 21st century. And then these years occurred way before the 20th century. So I did find that interesting. I hope you did too. I would love to explain this further, but I'd go past the 4 minutes. Thank you so much for your time.